Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here again in Kenshi. So last time, we had gotten tired of getting beat up by bandits, by the shinobi of the hub, and we came here to Okrin's Paradise, where we have decided to create a home for ourselves. And so we're still in the process of building it up. We've gotten a tech workbench up and running, so we can continue our research. We've gotten a couple of farms up and running, but our main issue was that we are currently out of electrical components to make power, to get the well to work, to get the crops to grow. So Cirrus, luckily, is coming back with the electrical components that we need in order to get those built. And once he's back, we will be able to finish that off and assign some people to work the fields and do all that loveliness. But in the meantime, we're just going to continue working on things that we need to and kind of go from there. But we did manage to get some food. We got some more research books, some more building materials, and of course the circuitry that we need to do that. So since we don't have a place to put the circuitry yet, we're going to have Cirrus go in here, and he is going to put in the materials so the rest of them can build it up. Alright, and as you can see, water is starting to be produced automatically. It'll be produced, and then our guys can use it and do stuff with it. And kind of go from there. So as you can see, we have some more people coming over here. So I'm waiting with Cirrus to try to talk to them, to see if they want to do anything or what's going on. But they keep walking around and they just turn around and leave. So that kind of works for me. If I don't have to deal with them, that works. But I decide we need to start working on some defenses. And so I'm looking through which gate I want to build and all that good jazz. And I settle on this gate, I believe, here. And we're going to rotate it around so we have it here. And we're going to put it kind of at the edge of this peninsula. So if anyone wants to get to us, they'll have to go kind of through the water, or at least that's the idea of how we're going to do this. Because when they're going through the water, they move a little bit slower, and that'll give us a chance to somewhat divide their forces and kind of go from there. So now we're going to build the walls, or at least try to. The first piece is red because it doesn't want to get placed down. So this is just kind of me finagling with the walls for a little bit here. The way I'm building them is I'm going to try to make them go outward first to make kind of like a kill zone right outside the gate where I can put like ballistas and turrets down. And then the rest of it's going to curve back around and come back up here to our landmass, where it's then going to just sort of end for now. I just kind of want to get the front part of the gate finished first before we worry about the rest of it. So we're going to do the same thing to this side. And this side's a little more easy, so we can just kind of put like a straight face there, go around this way and everything, and then back up to here is where we will conduct that at. So once we unpause, everyone's going to rush, grab all the building materials, and start building. And so we're just going to do a quick cut, because it's just building, to the wall being finished. Everyone's done. And now I'm building some more things. And a lot of this video is going to be building. And then there's going to be other stuff that, well, is the culmination of various things that occur. Okay. So I'm just checking to see what we need to build these things. And fortunately, we're out of iron plates now, which is not great, but we are going to build an armor stand and a weapon cabinet. so we can put in our weapons and clothing and all that good jazz. So that place, or at least our spare equipment, that way we have stuff to put there. We're also going to put down a place for meat, such as harvested meat from the animals that we could kill. I don't find out until later, but the river raptors aren't actually made of meat, they're made of rotten meat for whatever reason, which really sucks, because we can't eat that. So it's a real bummer for us, but we're also going to put down some normal, just general use chests here. That way we have a place to store other stuff that doesn't necessarily fit. And of course, you cannot forget the beds. Arguably the most important thing of what we're doing right now in terms of placing stuff down is beds, so our guys can recover as they need to. And so we'll place, I think we end up placing 5 of them. So that way we have plenty of room for everyone to basically be in bed. There are some people who aren't going to have a bed themselves, but that's fine for right now. That's just how it's going to kind of be. So I'm also going to put a cooking stove right here in this area next to the empty meat. And we're going to try to put down a bread oven here. But I don't really like the way that it is going, because it has that stupid rod that goes out of the back of it, which makes it annoying to place. You can see me get frustrated with come on, find a place to put it. So I just kind of drag it out and I end up putting it right around here, so that way we can cook bread. But we're not done yet. I also get a grain silo, and this has to be put outside. We will use this grain silo to grind up the wheat straw that we harvest, turning it into flour, which means we need a flour storage, which has to go inside here, which I'm going to put right near the door. And then, of course, we'll need a bread basket for the bread we can cook in the bread oven, so we'll put that there. And then while I'm here, I'm looking for anything else that I could potentially put down that would help us out here. And one thing that I settle on is nothing. Not yet, anyway. But you can see some other stuff that I've built here. And you can see those guys came back again and saw someone who was not human unchained. And that upset them. And they were like, ew, get your animals on a leash, basically, is what they ended up saying. So in order to hide our inner workings from the people, the bad guys, the Holy Empire of Fire, we're going to want to finish the wall fairly quickly, because I don't remember whether or not they will decide to come back. And if they see non-humans, not chained up, if they'll eventually start attacking me. So we will just try to make a wall at some point to finish that off, so they're all forced to come through there. But for now, with the beds finished, everyone's going to start resting. And you can see the river raptors coming down here, but I just really pay them no mind. And I'm just kind of looking at what everyone, how they look, making sure everything looks good. And I don't remember why I'm trying to pick up Zan, but it's whatever. So I come down here, and here's where I get the electrical crate. It's just a little box, which is nice. I'm trying to find a place for it. And I decided to just kind of put it right in this little area here. So that way we can store our electrical components once we have that constructed. And in the meantime, I'm going to just give that stuff to Zan right now, because Cirrus is going to need to get more building supplies and other stuff. So we send him up there to do just that. Meanwhile, we're going to finish laying out the walls here. And you can change their elevation and angle of movement and stuff like that. You can see me kind of raising it up so it gets higher here. And then we're going to do a nice little big circle area here to kind of claim all this territory for ourselves, so we have plenty of room to expand the farms and stuff like that. We can even build another house or something if we need to, but you'll see we run into a problem where we can't connect the walls together here. And for now I just say, okay, build that. And then I go back to the build menu to figure it out. Hey, the reason for it's real simple. It's because the height is off, so I just had to raise up the wall a little bit with the height, and then we got that finished. So the last thing I do for the walls is put up these ramps, which will allow our guys to get on top of the wall. And unfortunately, it can only go in some certain locations, but they can actually get on top of the walls where we'll be putting crossbows and other ranged equipment that'll help us defend the gate from the inside of the walls. Meanwhile, Ceres has gotten here, so we're sending him back to get more supplies and all that good jazz. Yeah. The problem is that we're running a little low on money, as you can see. But I just kind of grab everything I can, and now we're down from, I think when we started this journey over to here, we had, what was it, 21,000 cats? We're now down to 24. And so, Sirius will be coming back, we'll be finishing the wall, and hopefully not having too much of an issue. And then, once the wall's up, we won't have to worry too much about the Holy Nation coming by and saying, hey, your slaves are off their leash, we're going to attack you now. And, yeah. So, walls will hopefully finish up here pretty quick, but we're all doing everything else other than the walls at the moment, because everything else was built earlier. However, an issue occurs. The river raptors apparently like to eat crops, which means they'll be trying to constantly invade our home until they can get to our crops and eat them all. This is the worst possible outcome. We are out of money. We will be out of food soon. We cannot create more food. We have no way to currently get more money. We are screwed if these river raptors continue to ravage our crops. And unfortunately, it looks like they are a little bit stronger than us. At least a lot stronger than a number of us. So we will be doing our best in order to try and heal everyone, as usual. I really should put gills on passive, so that way they don't get involved in combat and they just focus on healing everyone. Kind of like what Cirrus is doing, where he is on passive constantly, so he can be the one that, if necessary, revives people. But I'm just kind of looking at this mess now, when I was recording at the time, just thinking, I made a mistake. A problem has happened, and I don't know if we can recover from it. Because until now, I had no idea that the river raptors were going to attack by eating our crops. So that is a problem. However, luckily we can kill the river raptors by taking their fur or their meat from them. But since the meat is rotten, it's not going to work. And as you can see, more river raptors keep coming in, and they keep eating our food. And so our friends are going to continue attacking them. And if we do nothing, the crops will unfortunately just get eaten, and we won't be able to do anything with them, which is unfortunate. So the people who are able will be building up the walls, and we'll be going from there. But yeah, at this point, what I'm doing is focusing on building the walls, healing everyone, making sure we're all good, and making sure we can pick up the fur and stuff from the beasties down here, because once they get up, they're going to go straight back to eating food, which really sucks, because then they're going to damage my guys more, and all that. And this is also one of the bad parts about Kenshi right here. You'll notice there were some river raptors in the upper right that had not been there before after the wall was built. And sometimes you need to just reload the game in order for it to correct pathing issues. What I mean by that is, even though there's a wall up right now in that upper right corner for us, the River Raptor's AI doesn't see a wall, they just walk right through it. So I do reload the game here in a couple of minutes. I may have cut out that reloading because it's just unnecessary time. But it does happen. And I just wanted to let you all know that sometimes you just need to save and then reload the game, and that'll fix some pathing issues. Because sometimes when you're putting down stuff, it doesn't register properly, or like the navigation meshes that the characters use to move around on doesn't update properly. So you kind of have to do it just by reloading, and when it loads in, it reloads all that stuff and updates everything. So it's good. But as you can see, we're just taking all the skin we can get, which we can sell the skin for a decent price. I think it's like 200 each. So that is a way we can get income. But it's just a pain to do so. And, yeah. As you can see, we have a couple more river raptors coming. I spotted it with Zan and had them try to shoot him. And then, I think right there, you can see, I believe it was Patch got shot by an arrow that Zan fired, because Zan is not very good at crossbowing yet. But luckily, we are safe and secure for right now. And I also decided to build a corpse furnace right over here in this corner. That way we can dispose of all the corpses by bringing them over, throwing them in here, and that'll get us our stuff. So anyway, jumping ahead here a little bit. We've mostly cleaned up the corpses. Zan is still trying to be a farmer as best he can. Our guys are just kind of healing up here, trying to survive after numerous river raptor attacks. And I notice Patch is dying. So I'm like, oh, let me pick him up. And we're gonna have to go try to do some emergency maintenance on him. And I'm frantically thinking, where's the closest place that would have repair kits? Or at least a place that I can go that has a skeleton repair bed that should hopefully help him out and not cause him to die. So we're gonna go to, I think it was called Black Desert City, I think is the name. But unfortunately we're gonna have to open the gate, which lets some river raptors out, which is fine. But we're now on a race against the clock to save Patch's life. And you might remember in previous videos I mentioned that this was a bit of foreshadowing. And this is what I mean when I had said that. Patch is dying, we're in a race against the clock, all because we do not have the robotics repair kits needed to repair his damaged body. So Rain the Great, I think one of our fastest people, other than Patch, is going to run and try to get him the medical aid he needs. The problem, however, is we're also out of money, which means we cannot buy any repair kits. We have to rely on the skeleton repair beds, which I'm not even sure I'll be able to use. But we're accosted by another group of river raptors, and so I try to focus on building up this crossbow so that Zen can come up here and start using it to shoot them down with, essentially. Because these crossbows are really heavy duty, really strong, better than a normal bow, and also I can start shooting them from on top of the wall and all that. But the river raptors get by, of course, and everyone just sort of peters out. The river raptors eat our food. We are sad, not having a good time. Wall attempts to get up and fight back, but the river raptors very quickly overwhelm him, knocking him down and causing it to be a big old bad time. Now, I am putting them on passive, so that way when they get up, they won't immediately try to attack the river raptors. But Gills, for whatever reason, decides, I'm going to attack these river raptors, and gets surrounded and very quickly beaten down. Yeah. Not a good look, friends. Not a good look. So, what do we do next? We suffer. I run out of medkits, so I have Cirrus grab some more so he can provide first aid to everyone. And hopefully survive. And more river raptors come in, and for some reason, I don't know why Zan got attacked, even though he was on passive, but it's really starting to get irritating. The fact that we cannot survive as a group for that long. We're going to need some very intensive training. We're going to need food. We're going to need money. We're going to need supplies. We're going to need to get good. Unfortunately, we cannot do that immediately. We are just weaklings who are in a position that is very disadvantageous to us. So, I'm having a bad time. Also, I keep trying to have Cirrus go on the crossbow to kill these things, but I keep forgetting that if they're in passive mode, they can't run the turrets. So, that's fun. Also, his ability to use them is just horrible, so no point in really dealing with that. I check out where Rain the Great is going. We're still running against Skinner's Rome, which luckily we don't actually find anything here. If we did, we'd be in kind of a bad scenario. The problem is I don't remember exactly where the city is at in the Deadlands, but I think it's in the middle, so I just kind of have us go here. Now, the problem with the Deadlands is it has acid rain, which, to anyone who's not a skeleton, the robot guys, it'll start to lower your stats. So if you look carefully at Rain the Great's durability to their limbs and stuff, you'll see it very slowly going down, the chest, the head. All the green bars are slowly lowering, all because of this acid rain. And, yeah, it's not good. It's very slow, but if you are injured or if you are distracted for a little while, this can turn into you dying very quickly. Very, very quickly. So, I realize at this point that Patch's icon has disappeared from the bottom of the screen. Yes, folks, Patch has unfortunately passed away. I put him down and take his gear because honestly there's nothing else we can do with it other than take it and use it for ourselves now. But all is not lost. since we're here, we might as well try to recruit anyone else. And we find a guy named Sad Neil. Now, Sad Neil is, as you would expect, kind of sad. He complains a lot. He hasn't had the best life, but we can peer pressure him into joining us. And so we get a new robot companion, yay, but unfortunately there's no one else in here that we can recruit. It would be very advantageous for us to recruit more skeletons, because these skeletons do not need to eat. The only problem with them is the fact that they require the repair kits to heal, but if we could get them and set them up on our walls, on turrets, we wouldn't have to worry about them starving to death as they unload arrow upon our enemies. So I have Sad Neil stay here for right now, because I think maybe if we wait a while, another skeleton will come we can recruit, or I'll be able to buy some robot repair kits and stuff. But I'll give you a little future spoiler here. We bring Sad Neil back without anything because we are poor. Yes. So finally I get Zan up on the crossbow. You can see him firing off a couple of arrows here, and his turret's level is gaining as we do this. So you can see we're occasionally dealing some damage to him. I think like 36 per bullet here, but he's doing very well. So anytime these guys attack us now, we'll have Zan up there ready to unload and just kill them all. Now there are better turrets, and we will get those later on, like the harpoon gun that I built that's not finished yet. The issue with that one, however, is it requires copper, just raw copper, and also some steel ingots, which we do not have. So we can't build that one quite yet. So I just have everyone kind of gather in here, and we continue doing what we can to try to survive here. I set up a skin barrel, so we have a place to put all the skins we've been acquiring from the dead animals, and hope that we can somehow still salvage this playthrough. I also put down a thing for leather, so that way if we decide to tan the hides, turn it into leather, we can store it there. I figured we'll just kind of, do that. But, yeah. Fortunately, Zan is just going to be holding out up on here and slowly starving to death because apparently we are out of food again. Yeah. Running out of food is kind of a constant issue we're going to be having for the near foreseeable future. But this is kind of the, next phase of Kenshi playing. So you start out, right, at phase 1, which is suffering and bullying, where you just get destroyed in every way, shape, or form. The next phase is you start getting comfortable. You find a place that you can, relax as you build your economy up. And you're like, okay, maybe I can do this. And then you get overconfidence, which is what we're in now, where we were like, oh yeah, this is gonna be easy. We can go out on our own, make our own base. Nothing bad is going to happen, but everything bad has happened. We lost Patch, our best guy to research things with, our best warrior. We may have gained Sad Neil, but Sad Neil is a garbage character who is going to take a lot of time to raise. So I struggle to create a stone pit here, because with the stone pit we can start making stones, and we can make a stone processor to process the stone into building materials, and then we'll essentially, as long as we make them with a person, have infinite building materials, which means we can sell building materials. However, we don't have enough iron plates to make a stone chest. And we don't have enough building materials, or iron, I guess, in order to make a stone processor. Which means we can't do that. So we are in a very, very bad way. And of course, Rain the Great got stuck and won't go where we want them to go. So we have to kind of finagle them around here and everything. And it just becomes a bit of a chore. But we go back to Sad Neil, and I don't know why I decided to do a prospect here to see what's around us. I kind of didn't think about that. I was thinking maybe I could have him farm some iron or something, but I don't think it'd be very safe for him alone. And if he did go down over there, we would have to run him all the way back. So I was like, I'll just put you back in the bar. Just chill here. And then I'm reworking dirt, so he's only focusing on farming. He's not going to worry about engineering or anything else like that. He's just going to chill. And yeah. So you can see we're down to like 9 building materials, which we're going to have, I believe, Oran grab and finish the stone pit at the very least. Now, I'm thinking here what we can do to kind of try and survive is there are places that have iron and stone and copper around us, and we can use that to gain those materials. They're just kind of in different locations around us, not where we're at right now. So we could expand the walls to cover those areas and kind of redo things. The problem with that is we need more building materials and stuff, right? So here's Cirrus. He's buying all the meat he can and all that. Because remember, our guys are starving. We're having a very bad time. And I was also going to try and see if I can get some of those steel bars to finish making that harpoon gun that we have on the wall next to Zan here. But as you can see, Ram the Great is down already. But these things suck. They attack fast, they attack in numbers, and we can't really do much until we get someone who has a high turret skill. Unfortunately. So we're just kind of left here, suffering. Our guys are trying to repair the gate while the enemy is doing like 20 damage per second per character. And, yeah. It's just a bad day to be a person. Also, we're finally picking up the backpacks and stuff that we dropped on the ground during the first invasion of the, river raptors. There's also a medium backpack over here we're going to have Dirt grab. And get rid of all that. But it's at this point that I have come to the realization that we are in trouble. There is a very big issue that we have come across, and that is we're just not doing okay. We have no money. We have no supplies. We're just going to die at this rate. And that's sort of my thinking as we end things here and go into the next life. And when I say next life, I of course mean the next video. But that about does it for like what we do now. So I'm just gonna end up running back with Cirrus, realizing that we're 1 steel bar short from doing that harpoon gun, but we also don't have the copper anyway. and just contemplating life and what we're doing next. Because the river raptors keep attacking the gates. They keep getting our crops. We are reliant on other cities and other people in order to keep surviving. And that is not what I want to have happen, right? So, something is going to change next episode. We're going to do some things that should hopefully get us set up for good here. And there's two things that I'm thinking that we could do in order to do that. The first one, we go on a stealing binge somewhere where we can steal a bunch of building supplies, of all that kind of stuff we need, all the food we need, all that good stuff. Or we do a montage of us back in the hub, send some people back there where they're mining copper, and we just spend a bunch of time, and I mean a bunch of time, just mining copper, selling it, mining copper, selling it, mining copper, selling it. But of course, it's going to be a little bit difficult, given that the copper cannot be sold in the hub because the shopkeeper's gone, unless there's a guard or another shop guy, like a shady dealer who happens to be in the bar. But we're just going to have a bad time. So, I think our plan is going to be, we're going to take Cirrus and a couple of the guys up to, or I guess down to the way station, and we are going to attempt to loot the place dry. We will be taking all their building materials, all of their iron, all of their copper, everything like that, all of their food, and we will be trying to get away. Now, will this work? I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. There are a couple techniques that we could use to deal with this in a way that I think would work. But we just have to be careful about it, because I don't want to go down there and lose it all. Because you remember how many people are in that way station? Like, dozens. Just so many, dozens, man. But anyway, now we have Sad Neil coming back to Oakland's Pride with us to be used as a pawn for our schemes. And this is just sort of where the video ends. We are kind of finishing up what we're doing here and getting Sad Neil and the group back together. And we'll probably end up taking Cirrus, of course, and maybe 4 other people with us to the area, to the way station, to steal it. Everyone else will leave back here. Zan is going to be left back here so we can stay on the turret and level that up. Sad Neil will probably leave here, just so that he can just not need food, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that'll wrap things up for today, everyone. So check out next video where we will be pulling off the biggest heist known to mankind.